welcome to life 15.10. That doesn't even make any sense, but we're all going to have to find a way to live with it. In this episode, I'm going to be doing the Coalescence Chamber in the Vale of Twilight. I'm going to try to do it on R3, and now I am solo, and I haven't been doing much soloing, you know. During those first few levels, I do a bit of soloing, but beyond that, I'm almost always in groups, or at least with one other person, so I'm really curious to see how this will go. I don't expect it to be difficult, but who knows? We'll see how it goes. I really don't know how it's going to go. Before I forget, I think I showed this the last time I did a cold chamber video, but I'm going to show it again because that was a long time ago. Because there's a funny little bug here. The borders of this water apparently aren't programmed very neatly, and so if you jump off here, well, you don't have to jump off there to do it, but there's like water down here that's invisible that you can swim in and impress your friends. You're like, hey, look at this, I'm swimming in nothing, and you can like see the water when you look out that way, but you can like swim in the water. Kind of ridiculous, but those are the little things I enjoy about the game these days. So, I want to go over a few things before I step in. Not going to go over the gear. As I mentioned in an earlier video, I just put up a new spreadsheet of all the gear that I'm using for my 1 to 20 ratio lives, and so that's up to date on my build post in the Druid forum. Let's take a look at where the Reaper points are these days. I got 41, and with 41 points I can almost max out tier 1 and tier 2 of Dire Thaumaturge and Grim Barricade, so I'm missing a couple points here. I don't have the tier 3 and 8. I will pick that up next level at 17. I can start picking up tier 3, and so I'll probably respec the, to pick up the tier 3 here and get some more points up here. So I don't need this dodge. This is doing nothing for me because I'm dodge capped, for example. Also, spell penetration is an easy thing for me to lose because I don't really use a lot of spells that have that, but I am using Finger of Death now at these higher levels, so spell penetration does help for that. So since I'm mentioning spells, I will bring that up because, you know, in addition to, well, the theme of this series is to do quests in which I do a little bit differently now that we have Reaper mode, but I also said that I was going to mention some things that I'm doing a little bit differently on my own build compared to before Reaper mode. So at this level range, most significantly, is I use Finger of Death now. I used to say just don't even bother with it on a Druid. That it was just a complete waste of time, and we could DPS stuff very easily before at a much lower cost, and we didn't have to invest in necromancy or, you know, spell penetration, because you literally only have 2 spells as a caster Druid that require spell penetration check, and it's Word of Balance and Finger of Death, and neither are important enough to invest in spell penetration for. You can spend your resources elsewhere. But I do like to use Finger of Death for like level 16 through 19. Just a small window. It can be really nice to get rid of some champions or some casters that are in the back. Just to, you know, just to one-shot them. And so I'll be using this in, against the Warlock, the Troglodyte Warlock casters in here. I've also made sure to have 2 mass vigor spells. I got Vigor Mass and Lesser Vigor Mass at this point. Regenerate's also, you know, really huge. That's so nice because it regenerates lost levels and lost stat points. But when I pick up Mass Regenerate, I'll dump the single target and pick up something else in its place. I've talked before about how I'm really loving Dominate Animal and Charm Animal in Reapers. I can charm scorpions in here, for example. You'll probably see me charm a few champion scorpions just to, so I don't have to deal with them. Don't think there's anything else that I need to mention about spells. Nope. Show what my stats look like. Pull up the enhancements for a moment too. I haven't really showed this much during my half-orc lives, but I did mention that I wasn't really spending anything in the half-orc tree. I start with 4 action points because of all my racial past lives now. So I picked up the Stubborn, gives me bonuses to will save. Brutal spell casting generates more hate with my spells. You know, as a tank, I want to generate more hate, bring mobs to me. So I keep that on all the time. You have to toggle that on, put it in your hotbar. And then the Lock Bash is really cool. That allows me to use my Intimidate check, or it actually uses my Intimidate skill in place of like an Open Lock skill. And I've never failed using it. I have high intim on this tune, so this is just perfect. I showed it in the Stormreaver Fresco video, which, by the way, they just announced that the Mimic Festival is coming back, and they said that specifically with that quest, Stormreaver Fresco, that all those lock boxes aren't going to count as chests anymore, so we won't be able to farm that during the Mimic Festival. One thing I also said when I was doing my half-orc lives early on is that because I'm not spending many points in the racial tree, that I am spending a lot more points in the Harper tree. I don't normally spend any points in the Harper tree, but since I have the extra points, yeah, give me some extra hit points, give me some extra energy resistance, give me 100 spell points, give me +3 to all my skills. Actually, I don't have the +2 right now, but I'll spend that as soon as I take level 17. I'll spend the other point there, and that's probably as far as I'll go here. After that, I'll pick up Autumnal Susurrus. That's nice to reduce mob saves and my earthquakes. And then that'll be about it. And of course, I'll pick up the SLA of Storm of Vengeance when I get to level 18. I'm still not picking up Spell Penetration, even though I'm using Finger of Death. That's it looks like it would be 6 action points to get +3. With my past lives, I'm not really worried about it. Plus, I think the Torque has, yeah, +2 to my spell pen checks. Okay, let's try Reaper 3. See what happens. This is going to be a long slog, I think. But I'm curious to see how it goes. I do have a necklace that I switch to situationally, like if I have a stubborn mob and I want to hit with my finger, it gives me +3 to my Necro DCs. I don't have any spell focus item on right now. I'm just relying on the bonuses I get from past lives and high wisdom. I just don't. I'd like to have a spell focus mastery item, but I just can't find a place that, you know, there's no gear that I want to give up for it. And at next level, I actually have a crafted item. This is just something I found, but I have a crafted item that I made that has Necromancy +4 that I switch to real quick, throw the finger, switch back. So I chose Coalescence Chamber because there are a few parts of it that I do a little bit differently. Let's get in Fire Elemental mode. And I mentioned them in the first episode of the series as an example. And one of the things that I do is I actually clear out this top part. Traditionally, I would just run right by this. You know, this optional just gives, I think it's just a few thousand XP, and it, you know, it gives you a key that you get the extra chest at the end, but it's just a junk chest. But I like to clear this out now because, well, you know, we used to farm bats to get conquest, right? But when you farm bats, it can get really out of hand quick because and start paying attention to what I'm doing here. It can get out of hand quick because you're going through like waves of bat really quickly. My earthquake not even go off. And what can happen is you can build up. You know, Reapers can spawn with every wave of bats, and you can build up Reapers really quickly. Last night when I did this with my guild, we weren't even farming bats. We had a champ cube, so it took us a little bit to kill them, and just in the handful of waves of bats that spawned while we were trying to kill the cube, like 3 Reapers spawned. We had somebody to charm them, so they weren't a big deal. They were actually helping us, but if you didn't have somebody charm the Reapers, those, you know, you get 2, 3, 4 Reapers really quick by farming bats, and then, you know, once you get up to like mid skulls, those Reapers can, you know, things can get out of hand quick. So that's why I don't like to farm bats in here anymore. Another thing that it does, you know, by doing this optional, besides being able to skip farming the bats, is that if you just run right by these, there's a couple problems. People that join the quest late may have a problem getting by this. Another problem is that what if you didn't see a Fear Reaper? You know, at first when we were still running by it in Reaper mode, we would check to see if there were Fear Reapers, but then we would keep moving. But then, you know, people come in late, they get tied up. There's also there could be a lot of mobs. There are a lot of mobs up here too, which exacerbates your red dungeon alert problem in this quest. If you know Coalescence Chamber, then you know it's really easy to spike a red dungeon alert. There are a lot of mobs that spawn at one time with all the scorpions and the bats in some of the rooms and things. And if you have 20 mobs that you left up here, that just puts you closer to that red dungeon alert threshold. You know, when you start running into mobs further along in the quest. So once this is clear, you're going to have less problems with red DA, and latecomers are going to have less of a problem getting through here, and you won't have to farm bats. I like to clear out these outer mobs before I start with the portal. And if you have a group, you know, you can you know, tell one or two of the people to, you know, work on the outer mobs while everybody works on the portal mobs. So I got a champion trog there. Let's hit him with the finger. Boom. Love it. Now I do want to emphasize, you know, don't try to use Finger of Death on a druid once you get into epics. It's just not going to work. And I still think that's a waste of your resources to try to get it to work. You know, you got plenty of other spells to work with. I'll toss up a Sleet Storm. Another reason why I want to do a solo video, because I haven't done one in a while, and I wanted to do a video where it's just me and you. Uh-oh, mobs aren't spawning. Does that mean? Oh, here we go. Maybe one ran away and I didn't see it. Haven't even started clicking my Vile Blasphemies yet. Because after this is over, I'm just going to have a little conversation with my girlfriend and hopefully get all my mana back. Now this quest can run pretty long, so I'm almost at a point where, you know, I'm questioning, you know, should we do it on Reaper mode? Because it's definitely not the most efficient source of Reaper XP, but it is such good regular XP too. And it's, you know, I like this quest. A lot of people hate it, but I actually like it. So I'm still running it. Typically just do it on R5 when I'm with a group. Where's that caster? He's gonna get fingered. And, you know, I usually find that with a group it's not bad on R5. Hit myself for 104 with a heal scroll. I made sure to pick up the cargo buffs before I came in here because you get the casters like to debuff you, and just the more of those ship buffs that you have, which can't be, those ship buffs can't be debuffed, you know, the better off you are. If I can finger the name there. Yep. Pandemonium, yep, you're gone. Third will just give me old SLA treatment. He's dead. And Mark of Law, I think those have death ward, don't they? No, maybe not. We'll just finish him off with the SLAs. Ooh, I spent a lot of mana here. I guess I am gonna have to start with the old Bioblastomies. Remnant, lost soul, remnant, lost soul. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Forgot to click my GH clicky. Okay, let's get Illyria out here and give me some mana. So I'm healing myself for 100, and that's with 130 heal amp. That doesn't sound right. That got dispelled, I think. 160, that still seems a little bit low to me. Thought I was getting a little bit higher than that, but that's what it is. Oops. Forgot to get the key, I think. No, I must have picked it up. Oh yeah, there it is in my inventory. Feather fall off, so it doesn't take forever to come down here. And if you want, I think there are some, I never do it, but I think there are some ledges that you can get on to perch from up here, like there, maybe, or, yeah, here's some ledges here. Right here. Yep. But we're just gonna jump down. Be smart caster. Not anymore. So I just dumped the SLAs on that Be Smart guy. He's gone. I'm not gonna bother charming this champion scorpion because I gotta kill all these mobs to close the portal, which is, you gotta do it. See, close the portal up here in the upper right hand corner. Okay, that's taken care of. So I'm going to be skipping some of the side rooms. I've been doing some experiments lately to see, like, what do I have to do. That's easier dealing with a champion like that than it is to try to DPS him, especially when you start to get to higher skulls. But trying to figure out, you know, how many kills do I need, or what areas do I have to do, you know, and not farm the bats. So if I do the top optional, I found that I can pretty much skip all the little side rooms. Ooh, lost soul. Finger a troll? Nope. We'll just drag him into a pile. Treatment. traps are really scary in Reaper mode. You know, they always hit pretty hard, but in Reaper mode, now more than ever. Light Bear, do those have a death ward? Nope. So what I would traditionally do is like that room back there to kill the mobs there, and then that room over there to kill the mobs back there. And you know, you may still want to do them because of the breakables. I don't know that I'm going to get ransacked, but we'll find out. Plague Reaper. Skyborn. Please target. There we go. Dead. I'm already making plans for my big Halloween party. This year will be our 4th annual Halloween party on Sarlona, and it just keeps getting better every year. If you haven't been part of it and you're on Sarlona, I hope you can attend. It'll start probably at 9 p.m. Eastern. And you know, I'll start with some like easy newbie friendly questions, and I'm gonna do some like pen and paper trivia questions. And then after like an hour of trivia, we're gonna do what we call trick-or-treating. We're gonna have a bunch of High Lords hiding around the harbor, and like the community will search for them, and anybody that opens up a trade window with a High Lord during that time will get a prize. So it's a lot of fun. We're like all in a raid group together, like the High Lords are, you know, so we can see where everybody is, and we're talking and watching people look for us. It's a blast from our end, and then the community has a lot of fun, you know, searching around for us. And then we'll do a costume contest. And you know, we don't really have costumes per se in DDO, but you know, I've done 3 costume contest events before. People get really creative. It's really neat. And then after the costume contest, we'll do more trivia. I'm coming up with 100 brand new trivia questions just for the event. Last year it went till 2 o'clock in the morning, so we're gonna keep going until we get to the 100th question. Or if my girlfriend will talk to me yet. Yep. But when I do the big events like the Easter event and the Halloween event, I like to come out with like a new set of questions. We've actually posted, you know, over the years I made a, you know, compiled a list, a Word file of all the trivia questions that I use, you know, in these different events that I do. And I posted them last year in the events forum. And there's like almost 800 trivia questions, so if you're hosting any kind of event where you want to do like some trivia or for, you know, just for fun or for prizes or whatever, I wrote up a bunch and you can use that as a resource. SLAs, took him right out. Ooh, mark a law. He doesn't want to get fingered, so we got an earthquake come and blind him and do what we gotta do. He's hitting me pretty hard. the reason why, of course, people who hate this quest hate it is because, you know, of all the climbing. And it's really, really frustrating when you fall, of course. But I showed one of my guildies last night that, you know, if you're struggling with bounce back, or like sometimes when you try to jump up the ledges you get pushed back or bounced back, you can just press up against the ledges and just climb up like that. A lot of them, if you're struggling with a particular ledge. I love Body of the Sun. I especially love it for bats because bats are so freaking irritating, and I don't have to worry about trying to face them. They just burn up in the glowing orb. Famine Reaper. As soon as you see a Famine Reaper, put on your Pale Lavender Iron Stone. Famine Reapers are the scariest Reapers, but when you have your Pale Lavender on, it pretty much, you know, you pretty much don't have to worry about them at that point. As long as you got some spell absorption on, you'll be good to go. So that side room over there, I would have done before, but I don't now. Lavender. If you need extra oomph against Reapers, you know, throw the regular Call Lightning, throw the regular Word of Balance. Switch back to my normal trinket. Finger a Beast Mark. Mentioned in a video not long ago that, you know, since Reaper Life I haven't really been doing high skull content, and I still haven't been doing very much high skull stuff, but this life and late last life I think it was, we started starting to get up there a little bit more on some of them. Starting to do a few R7s and R8s, not many, but, you know, for a while there I was just in this like R5 rut. I'm still doing a lot of R5s, don't get me wrong, but trying to step it up where it makes sense. So you may have heard a rumor that picking up these gems all in these shafts causes more mobs to spawn, but it is absolutely not true. I have tested it myself. Clearing the shafts and then going back and picking up all the gems didn't cause any mobs to spawn. So pick up your gems. They're just very low value baubles, but hey, it's free. Yep, can bring her back out again. Set her to passive, otherwise sometimes she just wants to start attacking mobs right away. Really appreciate hearing from you guys that found the crafting live stream helpful. You know, a lot of you guys told me that, you know, like you felt like you were stuck, you know, you didn't really know how to level efficiently, and then, you know, after watching that video you were able to get up to, you know, the low 300s, which is where you want to be to craft everything for yourself. So that's really awesome. I'm so glad it helped, and thank you for letting me know. It means a lot to me when you guys tell me that these videos are helping you. Appreciate that. It inspires me to keep doing them. So here's a little jump. If you're ever doing a speed run, you can save a little time. A lot of people will go up there and then jump around, but if you're in a super hurry, you know, you can just jump around like that. Kind of a tricky jump, but it's fun. I think I hear a Reaper. There he is. Plague Reapers are the ones that make it, they give you like a 99% healing debuff or 95%, something, some ridiculous healing debuff where you pretty much can't heal through a Plague Reaper. Got hit. 264 force. Plague Reaper. I'm still going to do this side room. There are some breakables, and there's a lot of bats over here that just spawn in 2 ways, which can be a little scary. Ooh, Potion of Invisibility. Because they can spawn Reapers. If you're careful, you can just spawn 1 wave at a time. I guess they're changing Sunburst so that it doesn't have a permanent blinding effect anymore. I wonder if they'll be changing the Cleric version or something. I think it's the Cleric version that has no, like, it's supposed to have a save, but it doesn't, or something like that. It'll be interesting to see how long that blinding lasts. Ooh, there's a Carney Reaper. trolls up here. Firewall instead because trolls love fire. The ice storm is nice though because it has the slowing effect, but I don't have water elemental form, so it's not as significant of a slowing effect as it would be if I had mantled icy soul on. But it still has its own slowing effect. Save the lost soul till after we buff. Now we're topped off. Hell yeah. You can use Word of Balance against these kinds of scorpions because they're fiend blood. Normally you can't use Word of Balance against something, well, I mean you can use it against anything, but it's not going to do any damage against something that's neutral all the way around, like an animal or a vermin. But anything that's fiend blood spider, fiend blood scorpion, fiend blood lion, you can use your Word of Balance on them. remnants galore. Fear Reaper, oh crap, there he is. Carney. Guess I gotta take care of him. I love this thing. Turn on your air jets. That was a nice addition they added quite a few years ago. Should finish him off. Yep. These casters in here can be pretty scary. You know, sometimes you don't see where they're hitting you from, and there's no place to hide. And I've definitely seen coal chamber runs turn into a mess in these shafts because of casters. You know, you get a champ caster. I mean, you get one bad champ caster in these Reaper dungeons. It can just be devastating. Start getting champ casters throwing flame strikes and horde wiltings. There's very little you can do about that. of the named. Nope. He doesn't want to be fingered. Couldn't remember if bats spawn up there or not. So now we're going to go down, and you know, this is a part where traditionally we take our feather fall off and just, you know, fly down. But if you start aggroing a bunch of reapers, like there's one already, it's a famine reaper. You can get champ casters hitting people on the way down. Like this shaft can turn into a nightmare when you're on your way down from this room. So what I like to do is slowly work my way down, killing as I go, taking care of any reapers, taking care of any casters, and you get the kills to get you closer to conquest as well. A little bit slower, but you know, you can use this part to get towards conquest, and you can help to eliminate disasters from going down quickly. Oh yeah. Give it to me. Yeah, a little frog. And she just gave the frog the DB. That's awesome. Frog's a beast. Soul. And that one. You get the advantage if you're working top down here, because a lot of your ledges are going to block casters from hitting you. Once you get a little clear, you can go down to the next ledge or so. Obviously going to be a lot faster if you do this in a group. Going to be coming back up here later, so might as well take care of them now. There's a carny. No, we got a caster heading us. Where is he? That's not good. This is the part where it gets scary. There he is. That's about it for the mobs. And now you don't have to worry about people dying on their way down, aggroing a bunch of reapers. If you just jump straight down and you aggro a fear reaper that's on the way down, you know, it can take precious time to try to find him. He's not going to come to you. And that can easily cause a party wipe. Finger Frocky. Nope. He doesn't even know where he is. Look how slow he's moving. That's from the... just from the Beguiled. Just in case you're not familiar, Beguile is the tier 1 enhancement here. Prerequisite for all your SLAs. Minus 2% attack speed, minus 2 spell power, stacks up to 25 times. Gotten so much use out of her. Still got a ways to go, so I'm gonna need every bit of mana that I have. Here we're going to go up into the first landing in the north. Racha. A Thurge. He must die. Ooh, he saved. I think that's the first caster I saved against my finger. Somebody asked me, a channel viewer, if they had a request that was basically like to talk about important like stats and things to have for different classes. Like go over all the different spell powers and different like abilities on weapons, like diversion and stunning or whatever. And I said that's a, you know, it's getting out of my. I said this is a giant topic. You know, somebody actually had a request like that before, and you know, I started to think about it as a really, really huge topic. And they said, well, you could do one for every class. And I said that's getting out of my area of expertise. You know, because I play very niche builds, and I'm not one to give, you know, to start talking about, you know, what melees ought to be doing and stuff. And then they said, well, you know, maybe do one for every class, and you know, have a guest on to talk about, you know, if, you know, somebody who's good with monks or good with fighters or something. But now we're talking about a 14-part podcast essentially, and this channel isn't a podcast, you know, and that's a really, really big project that is just not where my interests are, and it's not even the scope of really what this channel is. But I'll bet DDOcast has done something like that. More you clear when you come up the first time, unless you're dealing with the second time. It's just nice and quiet. Just you and a irritating shaft to climb. There's that jump I mentioned earlier. Instead of going around like I just did, you can just do that number if you're feeling nimble. Hoping I can just finger the cube, because I do not want to deal with a bunch of waves of bats. Yep. Family Reaper. Pale Lavender. Soul has death block. Is my girlfriend ready for me yet? Yep. It's getting tight. The mana's getting really tight. Got this ambush to deal with, and we got to get top of the shaft, we got to end fight, yada yada yada. I'm not going to be able to show you how much Reaper XP I get for this, because this is the second time I've done it this life, so it's not going to show you first time. But we'll see second time. Light bear, that's scary. Yep, accidentally opened up the Epic Destiny panel. ambush. It's required. We cannot just keep going. Thought there was another caster up on the left, but apparently not. Okay, so from here, this is where some groups will diverge. Some groups will go up. If you go up from here, then what you end up doing is looping back through the shrine, which, unless you're doing it on normal and can use it again, there's not really any point. And it's a lot of extra running and climbing. It's like 5 extra minutes of running and climbing. So what you want to do here is just go all the way down. And on our way, we'll use all of our clickies. I'm going to go ahead and use the entire Twisted Talisman, because I'm going to need it. And the Ring of Spell Storing, which I only recently found out that the new version of the Ring of Spell Storing is level 9. I was running around with all these level 11 versions from, you know, the olden days. They made some changes to some of the Sands of Nectar and loot, or the drop rates and stuff. Anyways, this was going back like a couple of years ago, at least, maybe 3 years ago now. I'm not even sure. And I just never really paid attention to the fact that they lowered the minimum level of the Ring of Spell Storing from 11 to 9. Make sure I get a level 9 one. I just made that change like a week or 2 ago. Maybe last life. Okay, so that's all my clickies. See, I have 5 Vile Blasphemies. I just started using the 5th one. See, you thought 5 was ridiculous, but I use all 5. In fact, I wish I had 6 on this tune now. I picked up a 6th on another tune, but, you know, I'm not running Abbot raids on this tune. I'm just doing heroic lives. Is Illyri ready? 1 minute. We'll get her at the top. So we just come back out here, and now we're at the ending shaft. Now we go all the way up, and we're done. We killed most of the stuff through here the first time, so we're not really dealing with anything. Let's see where we're at on kills. So we got Ransack. So those breakables in those side rooms didn't matter. We can pick up our gems because we know now that doesn't spawn extra mobs. And we got onslaught bonus. That's plus 15%. So we're not going to get to conquest. I forgot what conquest is. I'm gonna look on the wiki real quick. Browser doesn't seem to come up. It's being slow. There it goes. On the other screen. Wow, it's mega slow. It must be the recorder chewing up resources. $451 for conquest, so we're not even close to that. But obviously, if you want to, you can spend time doing that. If I had done those side rooms And I think I did that a couple lives ago with Ina. I think we did the side rooms to see if that would get us the conquest, and it did. I'm not going to bother killing anything more, since I'm not close to conquest. Not really any value, if it's not bothering me. Hello, caster. Goodbye, caster. Bats bother me, though. And here we are. Okay, we'll bring out Illyri one more time. Got 700 mana. It's probably enough, but let's be safe. We'll hit our Vile Blast me one more time. I'll be going in there with about 1,000 mana. So, generally, R3, no big deal. I had a couple casters that were getting some good hits on me, but we took care of them. A little slow, but it was nice to do a solo video. I hit both the spell power boost and the Reaper spell power boost. Earthquake, Ice Storm, Sleet Storm. We don't have Storm of Vengeance yet. Next level. Hit him up. Hit the boss there. He's got the cloud on me. That's painful. Oh, look at that champ caster hiding over there. Where is he? Oh shit. Can't have him living. Okay, he's got Death Ward. And now he's dead. These clouds get to be a problem for you. You can blow them out with your wind gust here. Gust of wind. Boom. Look at that. Used up all the mana too. He's not even dead yet. I have to use the last click of the last Vile Blasphemy. I am not drinking a pot for this last little bit. Just focus on SLAs. And we're done. So I got 549 Reaper XP the second time. About 25k regular XP. And it took me 66 minutes. Wow, that's a long time. It's a long quest. You know, trying to solo it on Reaper is even longer. And the quest, the key we got at the beginning, doing the optional, lets us open this chest. And that is all. Well, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about my videos, you can respond on YouTube.